welcome everyone. Good morning from Kenya. Thank you for joining us today in this Yelbridges webinar. Today's session is going to be different. It will be a roundtable discussion on the Cyber4growth Business Club. As you know, the club is being run by Yelbridges Limited, based out in Nairobi. And it's my pleasure to be hosting you again today. My name is Cyber4growth. I am the founder and leader at Cyber in Africa. I will be sharing the links to Cyber in Africa in the chat section for you guys to connect with us, follow us, and can keep the conversation going. But in the interest of time, I want to just again quickly welcome you guys to this session. We're going to talk business of cybersecurity today. This is always one of my most exciting webinars or sessions because we get to talk economics here and opportunities and how all of us can either create or leverage the opportunities that come in cybersecurity, and particularly through the Cyber4growth Business Club. So without further ado, I will be asking my guests to introduce themselves in a minute, but in the meantime, please, if you have any question, if you have any comment, we ask that you use the chat section to engage with us and the guests, and please connect and follow us in the links that I'll be sharing shortly in the chat section. Love to get to know each other more. So quickly, let me introduce my guests. Today, we have Alan, we have Emmanuel, we have Steve, Dominic, Michael, and another Steve. So I will start with Steve Mambo, who is our host today. Steve.
Good morning, everyone, and happy to see you here. My name is Steve Mambo, the Chief Operating Officer of Yelbridges. Today is going to be an interesting and a different kind of conversation. So I'm looking forward to sharing and learning from everyone. Thank you.
Yes, interesting and different is good because we're going to talk money. I love the sound of money. Yes. Let me invite Jerome. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Jerome Okot here, Chief Operations Officer at Milima Security. I'm also equally excited and delighted to be here to share insights on security in the business perspective, but most especially looking forward to learning and sharing more about the opportunities offered by the Cyber4growth Business Club. Thanks.
Fantastic. Jerome is in Uganda, just so you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Am I the only Ugandan on the webinar now?
I don't think you are.
It'd be nice to know if there's other Ugandans. Probably could just wave and raise a hand.
I know, I can see from the names, but let's welcome Michael Owino. You can unmute yourself, or I will ask you to unmute. Then introduce yourself.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Michael. I work for Cortex Systems and Solutions Limited as the head of digital channels, and I'm glad to be here in this particular webinar to get the experience of my fellows, to hear what you've been up to, how it has been able to be of assistance to you, and what we should expect for people who are joining newly like us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, and welcome to the club. It was premature invitation, maybe, but thank you, Mike. Mike is in Kenya, based in Nairobi. Then we have Dominic Kebene, if you can hear me. Dominic Kebene, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and introduce yourself. Yeah. So, all right. Once, Dominic, if you can hear me, if you're ready, just give me a heads up, and I'll let you in to introduce yourself. All right. So yeah, thanks Jerome, thanks Steve, thanks Mike for coming around, and you're the guys who are going to give us a nice description of what the club is, and you're going to tell us stories of how useful the club is, what is it about, what are the benefits, what does it hold for your future? And of course, how can the listeners and our audience today, for those who are interested to be a part of the club and take advantage of some of the opportunities and the goodies that come with the club. So without further ado, let me start with our host today, who is the guy behind Cyber4growth Business Club. Steve, please give us a brief, of course, first into Yale Bridges, the journey that you guys have had. And tell us about the Cyber4growth and the alliance that is around it.
Very well, Cephas. So just as a simple introduction of how the Cyber4growth Business Club was born. Early last year, 2019, we started off a project that we named Cyber4growth. And the key objectives of the project was to promote the know-how and knowledge for IT professionals across East Africa. So for us to be able to, for us to be able to deliver that project, we got partners from Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Tanzania, who are supposed to engage a minimum of 10 of their customers. Then we took them through cyber defense simulation training, giving them more skills on how to defend the organizations against cybercrime, give them more knowledge, more hands-on knowledge, to be very particular, on how they can best defend the organization. And from the conversations we had from the over 60 IT professionals and over 40 organizations, both government and private entities, represented during that project, it came out very clear that there is needed to have more conversations around cybersecurity amongst organizations. And another thing that came out very clear was there wasn't a lot of knowledge sharing. Everyone was working in their silos. Everyone is putting in their mitigation controls independently. If the unfortunate event of a cyber incident occurs in an organization, of course, they want to keep it down for reputation purposes. But unfortunately, other organizations go through the similar incidents without letting the initial victim share that knowledge for others to learn and improve their cyber resilience. So with that, we thought it could be a very interesting idea for us to set up a club where organizations could come in, one, get to network, which I think is very important when you think of cybersecurity. Secondly, it was also an opportunity for benchmarking. So you think of a financial institution, compare it to maybe somebody in the healthcare or manufacturing. We can all learn something from each other. And with the way the cyber threat landscape is evolving, there's a lot we can learn from each other. Even from organizations within the same industry, you could learn from those who've been taken those steps before, and get to see how you best improve your resilience. And more so, it's also important because at the end of the day, if all of us putting in defense controls to protect our organizations, we're also protecting our industries, we're also protecting our economies at large. Secondly, there's also the bit of, I've mentioned about benchmarking. Thirdly, there's also the bit of where you get to experts from across the globe to come in and share their knowledge. So the business club is both a networking and a club where people get to benchmark. There's also the opportunity where we bring in speakers from different parts of the world. Of course, in other economies that are much more mature ahead of us, they get to share, the steps they have taken, what we can pick up from those steps, and probably even some of them are able even to assist organizations within East Africa on how they can best have what we are calling today as cyber excellence. So I'm sure today's experience from the existing members, I'm sure they'll be able to share more of what they have been able to pick up. And even for us, it's also an opportunity to learn. Maybe you are interested in joining the business club as an organization. There are maybe some areas that you are very keen on, and maybe at the moment we've not been able to capture them. This is a moment to allow us to start implementing those ideas that you have. So as I said earlier, this will be definitely a very interesting conversation, and I look forward to hearing experiences from existing members and those who are want to join in, probably there's something that we'll also be able to pick up. So thanks a lot. Cephas, back to you.
Interesting. You've spoken to the second question that I had, and that was about why the business club, because I've been there through the journey of the alliance and the club, partly since over probably slightly close to 2 years now, I think. And it's been interesting just to see how the conversation has been going, how the alliance has been growing, some of the initiatives you guys are putting together. But what are the ultimate X factors when you think about the club? And probably I'll bring in Jerome here because I know Melima Security is a big part of this alliance in the club. Jerome?
Yes, Cephas, if you may just rephrase the question again.
Yeah. I'm just wondering from your perspective and your involvement in the club, what has been some of the biggest things you've gained, some of the X factors that you've seen?
Okay. Top of my mind right now from the business ops point of view, there is ease in collaboration in terms of business acquisition and also execution. For instance, if I have a project to do and I need a certain skill set and a partner company, let's say, is in Kenya and they have this skill set or muscle to execute, then it becomes a lot easier because we first of all have known each other through belonging to, through this membership where we belong to a similar club where our minds are intertwined, and when I speak a certain language, it's easy to relate. But then also, again, it gives us an opportunity to explore more business opportunities just beyond our local geographical limits. For instance, if I would like to access or grow my market potential, for example, I could use the help, let's say, of the guys in Rwanda or guys in Tanzania. And third, also, just shortly before COVID, we had a plan to come up with the biggest cybersecurity conference, the EastCon, some of you might know about. So it's only through involvement in this club. Imagine, let's say we have about 20 member companies, and each of these member companies is able to bring on board about, let's say, 50 participants to this conference. So belonging to this club extends such an opportunity to Milima, but also to the cybersecurity community of Uganda. So these are what I would mention top level, what I see as so far the key benefits of being a part of this club.
Fascinating. And let me bring in Alan Suman. I can see that you've joined the call here all the way from Rwanda. If you can hear me, please unmute yourself. Hi.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks.
Good to have.
Sorry for
Go
being
ahead.
late. I was stuck in a meeting and I just managed to pull it out. Thanks for this invitation. I can see some good prospective happening in Cyber4growth. I can say Elbridges is doing a fantastic job by bringing all the related players in the industry to a platform wherein we can collectively do something for the economies which are working with. So from my side, I just need to, I wanted to say hi and wanted to have my own views on the Cyber4growth Business Club perspective. I think it has been a great idea from Elbridges team and management, especially from the team which is comprising of Mr. Torsten, Mr. Steve, and Lisa. So I think they have been quite instrumental in bringing this together so far. So I really feel that there is a good way forward for us. There can be a great synergy. To give a brief, I represent the company called Bizone Consulting. For Africa, we are headquartered in Rwanda. We have our offices even in Middle East, in Dubai, branch office in India. Recently, we started in Uganda. So we are more into cybersecurity solutions. One of those companies that has been recognized by Rwandan government to quite an extent of we do some security projects for the government of Rwanda in terms of providing solutions, doing consultancy, assisting governments in empowering them with great knowledge of the policies that should be implemented at the organization level. To name a few, we are working with all the sensitive government agencies, from the intelligence to the Ministry of Defense to the Rwanda National Police, Rwanda Utilities Regulatory, Social Security Board, Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. So we have quite a good of large database in terms of government reach, and we have been one of those companies which has been vetted by the agencies to provide high-end cybersecurity solutions in the government of Rwanda. So from Rwanda side, the way I see, as I have been in this market for the last 6 years, and I have been fortunate enough to be in the East African market for the last 12 years, I have closely seen governments transformational projects in information technology. Now that information technology has turned out to be a very big, broader area, as we all of us know. So we streamlined ourselves and created our own niche in providing cybersecurity. So that is the reason we had this great alliance with Elbridges, because our thought process has matched very well what they are doing in the industry, what they are trying to bring together as an alliance. So we have joined them as the alliance members, like as Bizonaire, wherein we share quite a bit of engagements in terms of the sensitivities of doing some sensitive projects, delivering them. At the same time, now we are actively getting involved with the knowledge transfer assignments, as we have recently started. Indeed, it has been like 1.5 years now. We have been authorized cybersecurity training provider for the government of Rwanda. We are doing a national project with the Rwandan government by empowering and enhancing the skills. And we have been in the selection process by selecting approximately like 50 personnel from the government, from the initiation stage to their turning out to be cyber specialists. So we are delivering that project at the national level. So in terms of the club, since this platform is more relevant to discuss on the club that it is about to form, and I think already there have been good initiations that has been done by Elbridges. We are very keen for it as Rwandan government and Rwanda ecosystem of the stakeholders. There is a great opportunity in having this club, because the business club brings in the like-minded people. And when you talk about the Cyber4growth Business Club, yes, it is a very great platform wherein you can share ideas, you can network with people. Not only that, you can see around at the policy level, wherein at the government level, we can bring in some great minds who can give transformational ideas on enhancing this. We are very keen in taking this to the next level. Unfortunately, the more this part of the world, as we are very well aware, people like more gatherings on a physical way, not really on the webinars. That is a challenging part, because people are still adjusting to the new normal. But I strongly believe that this will not stop. This should be continued till the time we get to the normal life. We are having a great plan in hosting also the Cyber4growth Business Club event here, along with Elbridges, being the alliance partners. We being the alliance partners, and also from Uganda, the Mozilla, the Uganda, the and from Tanzania, the Mozilla Tech, and Mr. Chagara, who is from Uganda, who is also actively participating in these events and providing his valuable inputs, and also coordinating with the business club. I think this has been a great move and great step. We are all here to support each other. Unfortunately, for today's sessions, we couldn't get much of the Rwandan audience, because these days, because of the COVID-19 cases, the number of people who are in the offices from the government is brought down to 30%. So because it's a strict regulation from the government because of the number of increasing COVID-19 cases, and are requesting people to log in from their places because of the connectivity. They are having some challenges. But yes, I think very soon we should have a physical meet early next year maybe. And I would like to be actively involved in this business club and do prosper with the alliance. Thank you. And I'm open for any discussions or deliberations that you require. I'm open for questions or any discussions. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Fantastic, Suman. A great description of your company there. I know you've been doing a lot of big stuff, and hope to get a lot of your experience on this session. But particularly about the business club, and adding to what Jerome has said, the ability to acquire business. I think that's really huge. And then, of course, skill or talent exchange. I think that's a powerful thing, because you might realize that um, the partners or the cybersecurity companies that are within the alliance, they could be competitors in different ways, but all of us have folded, for lack of a different word, our egos, and decided to come together into the club and support each other and share knowledge and share intelligence, things like those. So that's thank you, Suman. Steve, you can give us a brief of some of the partners that are in the club, in the alliance, and what are they doing? Where are they?
I think one thing, just also for clarity, there's a difference between the alliance and the club. And the alliance is more of the initial founders of this Cyber4growth club. But however, membership is accepted from all kind of businesses. And as you'll see from the testimonials that will be shared, you'll realize there are clients who are in the manufacturing space, fintech, distribution, among others. So there's importance to have that distinction. However, I could just maybe share a brief history about the founding members, who are the initial partners for the Cyber4growth project. So in Kenya, of course, EL Bridges was taking a lead on that. In Uganda, we had Milima Technology. Rwanda, Bizonia. Suman has clearly put it out very well. In Tanzania, we had Magila Tech, who are also part of the project and are still part of the entire alliance, as well as the business club. In terms of membership today, I can see that Cotec Systems and Solution is represented in today's webinar. Savannah Cement is one of the members. Madison Insurance is also a corporate member, amongst others that I'm just recognizing the ones that I can see on the webinar, but the list goes on.
Fantastic. So Cyber4growth has the alliance, which is formed of the founding members. Then you have the business club, which is open to corporate members across different verticals. Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, great. Yeah. So you just mentioned 4 countries that are represented. Are there plans to expand that to other countries?
Very true, very true. South Sudan actually will be joining us probably before end of month. There are some interesting interests that we've got also from Ethiopia. So we're also thinking of extending it beyond East Africa. So you are thinking on the right path.
Yeah, I think take it to Africa. Let's take this to the next level, right? As Suman had mentioned.
Very true.
All right, fantastic, great. So, okay, what do organizations practically stand to gain from this club? And I probably you've mentioned it. All of you have given hints here and there, but explicitly give us perspective of what the audience through the organizations, when they join, they will practically gain going forward. Probably I'll bring in Jerome here as a member, as a founding member. Or Steve, you can also take that.
Very well. I know it's from our side, of course, it will sound more of like a sales pitch, but I would prefer actually when an existing members actually shares their own experience. So Kotek is on this call. I think they would be best placed to share the experience. Then I can always come in as well as Jerome to come in and give other comments.
Michael, you've been mentioned.
Interesting. Eh? So actually, I wanted actually to come and listen more, and but since I've been summoned, it's really good to actually give my experience. So far, we've had some experience with Yale bridges, and mostly taking into consideration the services they've given us. We began here in Nairobi with some penetration testing to being done and some forensic audit being done on our platforms. But on a higher magnitude, we were able now to scale it up into Botswana. So in Botswana, we procured the managed security services. That's also leading to infrastructure and all that with the network boxes. And so our business in Botswana with our clients in Botswana are all covered by Yale bridges. So now in this particular juncture, you find that we've gone quite a number of milestones with them. And so far it has been so good because it is an implementation that, nobody could assume that could take that short amount of time, but the benefits are immense. Now, so the experience you find that is, let's say having a partner like Yale is a rewarding journey and is a rewarding partner. And you get quality out of all this that is being done. So it's not just amount of mentioning, but compared to other industry players, because we've interacted with a number of industry players. I think that one, Steve can bear as witness. We've dealt with okay, I don't mention them for the sake of us being into a proper process here. But compared to whom we have dealt with, I think Yale Bridges stands out in terms of quality, in terms of what we were looking at. And let's say once your mind is settled as far as security is concerned, and as far as other infrastructural services are concerned, then I think you've got a good partner, you've got a good player, which means that the journey will be more rewarding, and the journey is actually rewarding. So now what you're looking at is that as our business expands into other areas in Africa, we are looking also to expand together with Yale Bridges, where our footprint goes to. We are not looking for any other partner or any other person, because so far what has been achieved is actually immense within a very short span of time. And what we are looking at is that we are looking to have a hub of all our clients, of all our clientele partners and all that. So Kotek is not only in Botswana, but also in Swaziland, also in South Africa, in Uganda. We are there serving circles in Uganda. We are currently setting up in Nigeria. Nigeria, I think we should be able to proceed to go live. Actually, just a matter of, we are waiting for go live in the course of this month. So we find that as we progress and as we go to these other particular areas, I think it's preferable we go with the bridges. And okay, not speaking much, but I think I'd also love to hear what other what other of our colleagues here and the partners here have also benefited from Yale Bridges, and also in the aspect of learning together and learning from each other, and also get to understand what has been done on their side that also we can be able to achieve and copy from them to our area, and also what is in store, what are the new updates that are coming up. And I think it's more of hearing for me. Over to you, Cephas.
Yeah, sure. And I bet you'll want to hear from Jerome and Suman as well, out of their own experiences of associating with the Elbridges and particularly the business.
Say
Correct.
first,
Jerome,
before I let Mike go, I wish he also said that now he has peace of mind, knowing that their security, especially for the Botswana project, is taken care of. And for them, it's just a matter of now running business, knowing very well that they have a partner who's 24/7 monitoring their security status and giving security advisory. Because there's a big difference between procuring a service, then you have to figure out how that service works within your business. I think for us, we've had a healthy business relationship with Kotek. We understand their business very well. And so by the time we are coming in to give a security advisory and solutions, we are thinking for them in terms of having a good understanding of their business strategy, having a good understanding of who their clients are, having a good understanding of the values that Kotek does uphold, so that we ensure that we are in line with their business strategy. So it's not just an issue of us just offering a solution or a service, it's more of that partnership. And I think Michael mentioned it very well, that, and we are very glad and happy to hear that as you move to other African countries, you are more than happy to move with the LBJs to those countries. Thank you, Michael, and thank you to the entire Kotek team.
And I
Yes,
think
thank you.
that
Thank you, Steve.
the bottom line of all this is partnership. Yeah, I mean, the club and the could be bilateral business dealings, let's say with Yelviges and Kotek, or it could be maybe a collective engagement within the business club itself. I think the bottom line here is partnership. And I guess for our audience here, they could want to think about what are the real benefits that I get, probably transferable gains in the club, like business expansion, business acquisition, etc. Jerome, any thoughts on that? What have been your
Yeah,
experiences,
yeah, I see.
and how do you think this club is different? Because again, I think it will come down to the real X factors. Why would I want to join this club, and what do I stand to gain?
Okay, I think following through from lots that have been shared by Michael and Steve, um, when you kindly look at each member company, you find, let's say, you're interacting with Wansuman Allah, who is in Rwanda, but also has a reach as far as the Middle East. Okay, then you're speaking to one Jerome whose reach is probably in East Africa so far. So, speaking of geographical bounds, should something occur out there, I now have a partner whom I got to discover through the club. That's how we break geographical bounds. However, this could also have been re-echoed in Michael's sharing. Two key things that I see also from, for example, my personal experience. Let's say if Milima would like to have a big project, for example, in Ethiopia, okay? If I forwarded myself as a member of this club, whose reputation is probably held up high by, let's say, One Year Bridges, okay? I will be rubbing off the reputation that Yale Bridges has to obtain the business that I'm trying to secure, okay? That's one very classical benefit. Also on the flip side, for example, you'd want to say what value could Milima, let's say, share or present to the club. Milima is big on research. We've over the past 3 years released the Africa Cybersecurity Report. So on research and innovation, I find that Milima has a very big strength. So this is also a way through which, for instance, you're writing your papers, you're doing your case studies, you find yourself probably referring to the Africa Cybersecurity Report as done by Milima. So this kind of value may not necessarily be found in any other company, but then because we are bound within the confines of a particular group like this Cyber4growth Group Business Club, we find that we're able to share these resources, and also we can easily exchange, whether it's in research, whether it's in ideology, whether it's in who knows who where, stuff like that. So key to this is reputational benefits and also research and innovation. For instance, if Milima came up with a product, we are trying to do a couple of innovations. So if we came up with a product and we roll it out to our market locally here, by virtue of being part of the Cyber4growth community or business club, it would be very easy for another company, let's say Bizonia, to take it on if it is something that can resonate with, or even Yellow Bridges. So that's what I see is the benefit, and is also the potential moving forward. Yeah, basically that's it. Of course, things like business growth, development, that already Micro has enjoyed immense benefits of Yellow Bridges and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what that would be my key take.
Absolutely, I love the sound of that. Love the sound of that. So, any thoughts from Suman as we wrap this session up?
Yes, thank you. I think the other speakers have quite well nailed it down, the advantage of being in this club. And thanks for Steve, the differentiation which he has mentioned, that is very true. Obviously, the founding members of the Alliance, were the members of the club, yes, that is true. And in terms of the advantage, I can see as a members of the club and also as a members of, as a customer perspective, I can differentiate. I'll try to differentiate the advantages which customers and as individual members or as corporations or as a small SMEs, what advantages they can have. So starting with, if you talk about similar organizations like us, so they can get, if you take a XYZ company which is trying to do some services, and it's just a startup with few people, like 3 or 4 staff, trying to do some activities in cyber. So when then they become a part of this club, what they get is they get direct access to the Alliance members who are the founders and also the other partners. For example, they will come and meet Bizonaire, which is already having like more than 50 global manufacturers reseller partnership with great experience in terms of implementing large turnkey solutions. And apart from that, they will get it is like a one-stop center wherein they will meet Elbridges and the team in terms of delivering the assessments, the ICT audit and policies. At the same time, they will meet professional trainers like Milima Technologies, who are into training for the last, I think for the last 5 to 6 years, they are in trainings. And at the same time, they get in touch with Mozilla Tech, which is also into the cyberspace for assessments and doing some testings at a large scale also. So this all it can be packaged in a single platform. So that is why we call this more as a Cyber4growth Business Club a platform, which gives access for so many members who are a part of this club exclusively in terms of getting the access for all this. Now, as an individual, I feel also there can be an opportunity of knowledge sharing, what is happening around in the world in the cyberspace. At the same time, as an individual, if you want to upgrade your CV and want to enhance and see what opportunities are coming up in the space, like for example, with Bizonaire, we see like we do some products wherein government approves them to be a part of their strategic investment in cyber for the next 3-4 years. That means we practically invest resources on those particular solutions, so which will showcase and increase the workforce that is required to support the customer for those solutions. So in that way, individual members also from the organizations or individual members, they can get access to those jobs. So that is a part of job creation. If we see how we can be a part of the economic development, there we can provide that as that perspective also. And when you talk about engaging at the policy level, so now since all our partners directly or indirectly are working in these economies directly or indirectly with the governments, so now you will know what exactly is happening at the policy level. So now, for example, if you want me to tell that that Rwanda is actually getting to the next level in cyberspace in providing the policy and consultancy services to other parts of African countries. So they have a direct engagement in West Africa with Benin, Equatorial Guinea Conakry, just the neighboring country here with DRC, even the Congo Brazzaville. So, and we, since we work closely with the government, we have direct access to that reach in defining the policies at the government level. So you can see the huge potential in these countries, wherein when they start from scratch, they don't really want to reinvent the complete wheel. So now when this alliance comes, this can be great in terms of how well this can be structured and positioned to the customer. So that is one perspective. So now when it comes to the SOC services, so down the line, each of the economies will be having their own SOCs, or a centralized SOC for the government, banks having their own SOC, individual large customers like the revenue authority, social security boards, utilities, they want to have their individual SOCs. Now, a lot of consultancy is required, a lot of solution approach is required, a lot of support in terms of the manpower is required. So where they can source all this. So initially it will be very, very tough for the customers. At the same time, the individual organizations to source for these people. Then the Cyber4growth Business Club can be a platform wherein they know, okay, they have direct access for these resources and direct access for these solutions, direct access for this assessment, direct access for this consultancy, one-stop shop. So if we keep discussing, the potential is immense. It is about like-minded people joining together in enhancing the economies, in coming together, creating more jobs, in coming together to individually increasing support to the customers, which they already do with. So I think from my perspective, this is a great initiative. I encourage members to be a part of it. This should grow beyond a few countries in Africa. It should be a one-stop shop for whole Africa, which is very possible. Because with these alien members, if each member has 2 or 3 access to the countries, that means we practically need to have like 15 to 20 members who can access these countries, which is very possible. Thank you.
Yeah, which is very possible, and I think it's very important. You mentioned issues of job creation and issues supporting customers. Stemming from the club itself, and also support individual companies. I think those are very important points. I just want to play quickly here a quick testimonial video from one of the business club members. Let me set that up. This is from the head of IT of one of Yelbridge's customers. It's a cement company, so it plays in the industrial space. Here we go.
Cephas, I think your audio is off.
Associated with cybersecurity, and we realize this is one of the fields that has been on the rise of late.
Sorry about that.
A lot of our business processes. At a glance, anyone can tell how far a particular order is. So what we do as Savannah basically, we take a proactive measure just to mitigate our information system and data from such kind of risk which comes associated with cybersecurity. And we realize this is one of the fields that has been on the rise of late. Companies millions of manage network of individuals who basically is a company that deals with managed security services. They do a lot of cybersecurity awareness training. They also help companies mitigate such kind of risk that first assignment was to do for us, conduct for us a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing for all company information systems and network devices. So we were able to identify a number of gaps that we had. It gave us very good recommendations to walk us through the journey, give us recommendations what we need to do to kind of that will come. Also, to subscribe to Club. They have in place that enables companies to benefit from them by enabling them to be able to attend webinars. They're able to get also advice, do a lot of research, what is happening in the world, what are the things the companies can face, and cybersecurity. On top of that, we will be able to also to schedule to go into an agreement with them where they can do for us quarterly cybersecurity awareness campaign or training for all our employees. Quickly done a review of our system. As any company, I would recommend to get in touch with the benefits they have, good skills consultants. That any company out there, I would recommend that get in touch with
Okay, so I'm sorry about the audio situation there. I think I have sorry about that. Yeah, I think I have an issue with my my audio on the PC. So we'll be sharing the link in the chat section. Steve can help me do that, and then of course the video is on YouTube, so we'll again have access to it later on. We'll share the details about that. Yeah, but that is just a quick testimonial of how Savannah Cement benefited from, are benefiting actually from the business club and the one of course with the business. So at this juncture, if you're interested, and I encourage you to be more interested, there are individual benefits, there are company benefits, and many other benefits that are coming with the club. So I encourage you to pursue this opportunity, reach out to Yale Bridges, and Steve will be giving us information of how you can express your interest to join the club and be a part of this amazing community, not just for growth in cybersecurity, in terms of information sharing, skills development, things like those, but importantly because of the business side of security, expanding, expansion, support, peer or partner support. So I urge you to be a part of it. And at this juncture, I'd like to call out Steve. You can give us information of how our audience can join the club. What do they need? What does it take? And tell us what can you expect in the future. Steve?
Hello, Stefan.
There you go. I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry. I think my internet had issues. I didn't hear your last question.
Yeah, just go ahead and tell us how our audience can express their interest to join the club. What should you expect in the future?
So for anyone who's interested to be part of the club, you can always just go to our website under the business club. I'll also be sending the link for you to directly express your interest to be part of the club. Thereafter, one of our team members will reach out to you just to understand also your expectations, and as well as share more of what you'll probably be receiving once you are part of the club. I think as part of any club, every other club has opportunity to grow, and it's the members who make the club to be what it is. We might have had the initial idea, but I think the members, once you are part of the club, you can also guide in terms of which other areas you feel are more critical to your organization, to your industries, that we could tackle apart from what we've just offered as the current membership of the club. Going forward, you initially hinted very well that yes, initially we are looking at it at East Africa, but I think the entire of the African content is open. And we will not be limited by just borders. I think after COVID, we realized that there's a lot of potential that we can do virtually. So yeah, we look forward to more exciting times on the club, as well as more interactions between our partners and other clients who are joining the club. Back to you,
That's
Cephas.
and
Cephas?
oh yes, I'm here. Sorry about that. Yeah. So as a last word, Jerome, Suman, and Michael, give us your parting shots. What do you tell the audience? How do you encourage them to join the club? I'll start with Jerome.
Great. Thanks, Cypress. So I noticed Emma is not able to join in. He's a bit held up. However, just to reiterate, two key issues about the benefits and what we look forward to. I think you have gotten a hint, or you might already have known the major reason behind EastCon. EastCon was initially started, of course, by Milima, but for the greater good of Cyber4growth and the Alliance. This is something that was meant to grow even beyond the boundaries of East Africa or even Africa. But until COVID came and humbled us somehow, but we're still exploring opportunities or alternatives of putting this online, because we felt this is one of the ways through which we would bring together the community of cybersecurity experts and also enthusiasts in security and this technology of ours across East Africa, Africa, and hopefully even the world at large. Also, one thing I didn't mention was the idea of the Virtual Conference Center. That also was conceived, but of course, it was still at idea stage, but it's something it's a work in progress. So these are some of the things that we see members of the Alliance or Cyber4growth benefiting so much from, which may not necessarily be accessed by other people who are not members. Yeah, those two. And my parting shot will be, guys, it is very exciting to be here. I always tell people, once your mind is limited geographically, you can only develop so much. But if you are boundless, if you can break the bounds and, go cross borders and interact very openly, you're open to cultures. For example, in social engineering, certain cultural tendencies influence certain social engineering tactics. So you can only know that if you appreciate the culture. So breaking bounds and interacting with people in South Africa. I mean in Rwanda, in Kenya, in Tanzania, in South Sudan, in Ethiopia, and Africa at large, even the world at large, will make work easier. So I want to encourage all of us. Starting things is not usually very easy, but as time goes on, as Steve has mentioned, we, the members, have the collective responsibility to grow this club to the dream that we're looking at right now. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Cephas, and the rest of the members. I look forward to, like Suman has suggested, to a physical meeting, yeah, where we get to interact more personally but more importantly, also the projects that lay ahead of us. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Jerome. Suman?
Excellent. Thanks a lot, all the members, Steve and Elbridges, for organizing this. I think it has been a great idea for the continuity you are carrying in. So my message to the members is, don't hesitate to join the club. This can be a great opportunities, even for the beginners to the ones who are having a great plan and perspective view for the bright future of cyber, which can be the next big thing that is happening across. Already few of us who are in this field can really see it happening at the government level, at the organizations level, at the banking level. So it can seriously disrupt the market. So it is always better to be proactive rather than being reactive. That's what one of the primary things we need to be carrying ahead in our minds when we do these cyber activities. We cannot say sorry. better to be careful before rather than saying sorry once the attack or something has happened. So the similar way it is applicable for individuals or the organizations to be more careful in preventing these threats before they happen. So the Cyber for Growth Club is one of the ways of mitigating those threats, because it has become it is bringing the platform wherein it can share ideas. You can be a proud member, your organizations can represent, your organizations can be updated with the newsletters. That's also, we are having a plan to give a newsletter to all the members on the updates, regular gatherings. So I think it can be exciting times ahead. So I request all the potential members who are keen to join, don't even think twice. Let's keep the things moving. Thank you for this opportunity.
Fantastic. As you can hear from Suman, join early. Don't wait. Michael, your last word.
Thank you, Cephas. So just to add on top of what Jerome and Suman have said, is that this is a very great opportunity and a very great platform and environment for us to learn, learning from each other, learning from what are the emerging threats maybe in Uganda, how do they look like, what you can pick from there and maybe improve maybe here in Kenya. What are the emerging threats that are being seen in areas maybe like Nigeria? How do cyber attackers camouflage themselves as? Or what are the kind of threats that normally comes up in areas like Nigeria that maybe you can learn from, so that we can be able to share our experiences, and maybe we learn as to what are the mitigating factors that have the various players done to be able to protect themselves from those kind of threats. And maybe if there's any attack or any breach that has ever occurred, maybe we can learn from what were the mistakes that maybe the other players did that made them to be able to expose themselves in that magnitude. I think it's just a matter of learning. So we not only, I'm not only looking at learning as far as our strengths are concerned, but also from our weaknesses, because I think we learn more from our weaknesses than from our strength. And at the same time, also, maybe what I'm looking forward to is in this partnership or in this club, maybe as club members, I can echo what others have talked about, the physical meeting, because you'll find that in future, these kinds of online meetings, I've seen you register nowadays, you'll find us a place whereby you'll be told that now confirm you're not a robot. You see, so you'll find that for us not to be robots, we'll want maybe to have that physical meeting. We get a feel of each other. We interact at a personal level. And maybe to add on that, also, being that we are coming from diverse industries, we have fintechs, we have manufacturing, we have various services that we come from, and our backgrounds are different. There can be opportunities that emerge themselves from each and every one of us. It will be a very nice opportunity to come and tap from whatever presents from each and every one of us. So if maybe there's an opening or an opportunity that Jerome has on the other side that Kote can benefit from, we get to learn from it, and we partner on that level, and vice versa, and across the board and across this club, so that at least now it becomes more engaging, more beneficial, and more entertaining for that matter. So thank you very much, Cephas. I don't have much to say, but being a young member here, I'd like to learn from majority of you guys, and also to have that kind of an experience that we've been experiencing along the way. So thank you. Over to you, Cephas.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Suman. Thank you, Jerome, and thank you, Steve, for sharing about the club and your experiences. Of course, all of us have experienced the benefit of the club, including me here. And so it's from me, my encouragement to our listeners today to visit the yellbridges.co.ke/business club website. The link is in the chat section. Please visit the page, get more information about the club, express your interest to join, and someone will reach out to you thereafter. And we hope that you all are going to express interest and then, of course, be accepted and approved as members of the club. So from me, I wish you guys all the best, businesses and prospecting. And we hope that you're going to also bring some of the gains and the experiences that you share, that you've had as individuals and as companies into the club. And to close for us this session, Steve, you can give us your last one, and then we can end this.
Cephas, before I give my last words, is Cyber in Africa a member of the Cyber4growth Business Club?
That's a good question, is it?
It's a conversation you also need to.
We are very lucky to have been part of the alliance of the club from before it even came to life, and we'll always be a part of the group. So, is that answer good enough?
For now, I'll excuse you, but yeah, yes. So thanks again, everyone, for being part of this conversation. I want to thank Suman, Jerome, for sharing your insights. Thanks also, Michael, for sharing your experience as part of this Cyber4growth Business Club. And we look to having more, not only just more members, but representation from various and different industries, because I think that's the only way we'll be able, for all of us, to manage this fight against cybercrime. You very well know that it's a big, it's one of the biggest risks to every other business, but also it's negatively impacting our economies within this region. And the only way is when we work together, we'll be able to address this. As they say in Swahili, umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. So let's continue walking this journey together as members, and we keep looking at what opportunities, what challenges are we facing, and how do we best address these challenges as a team, not as an individual. And I look forward to having more sessions like this. Thanks again also, Cephas, for moderating the session. I think you always do a very good job on this, and we're grateful to have you as part of us during these discussions. Thanks to everyone, and wishing you good afternoon, and stay safe, and keep safe and stay safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you, and have a lovely weekend, everyone. Bye.